If you are new to the channel, you probably don't know about the custom here. If you are a veteran to the channel, you should definitely know about the custom here. And what I tell y'all to do every time I start a fucking YouTube video. So, say hi to YouTube, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about Ghostblade and trying to make an in-depth guide about this character. As you know, I am one of 2 prolific players with the character, the other one being Gone Mad. And he sends his regards in me making this guide. So we're going to go over some really basic stuff, like his normals, how they function, his specials, his mana moves, and then just like really weird intricacies that you should know about the character. Then we'll go into combos and what his awakening does. Now, as far as the complexity of this character, I don't think he's that hard. The only thing that's really hard about him is like 2B and a 4S. But other than that, I think the character's like really simple. He's really good if you want to be like rush down mix oriented, or even if you want to like play a neutral game, because he can play to either play style. I guess is the easiest way to put it. So let's talk about his normals. We have 2A, 7 frame normal, a really good range. Like, I can backdash and still hit him. Really good range, even for low, right? And it comes in at 7 frames, so it's not one of the slower normals in the game. So you can definitely make it work however you need to. Really good in certain matchups like Grappler, in which you want to like check him for going low. But yeah, good normal. This pack has nothing but good normals. His 5A, as you can see, hits from round start position and is at 8 frames. And it's also a bit disjointed. What do we mean by it's disjointed? At certain spaces, you could just hit people out of their fireballs. You'll be hearing me say this word disjointed a lot. Because he has a lot of fucking disjointed normals. But his 5A obviously has more range than his 2A. So if you're trying to check people from moving forward, you definitely want to throw out this fly swatter of a button. AA, really not much to speak on. It's just a follow-up. At some ranges, it might whiff. So you typically just want to go into 5B, because 5A, 5B doesn't typically whiff, but 5A definitely does. So keep in mind of that. 5B, 11 frames, and disjointed. So what does this mean? If you have a fireball, oh fuck. He probably does not care about the fireball. So, again, really good button. 11 frames. 2B, also 11 frames. Definitely has a lot less range than 5B. But something you should know is that 2B and JB do the exact same damage, which is going to be really important to talk about later. JA, possibly one of the best air-to-air buttons in the game. It probably boasts as much, if not the same amount of horizontal range as his 5A. Actually, no, it does. It does basically boast the same amount of range as his 5A. So yeah, you can hit them from pretty fucking far if they choose to jump at you. So this is probably what you're going to use as your keep your opponent out the skies approach, because trying to anti-air with 5S is pretty difficult, and it's a lot more consistent to just jump with them and press 5A. right? JB, this button is how you're pretty much gonna convert off of JA if you get it to hit high enough. So if they're jumping, you just do JA JB and then convert however you so choose. Something to note about JB is that it could hit certain characters in the game crouching. Luckily, I picked Crusader for this very purpose. As you can see, he's crouching. Even if we set him to guard off and set to fix, Rising JB will always hit him. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. You just have to press up and B at the same time. So keep this in mind whenever you're fighting versus a big body character. The characters that you can do this against, off the top of my head, is Vanguard for sure, Crusader, Hitman, and Lost Warrior. So those characters you can hit with Rising JB as an overhead. Now we can get into his S moves. So 5S is typically a move that you don't want to use for the fact that it scales the fuck out of your combos. For example, of course I would drop it. That does 249. That is rather pitiful damage, because you can literally do anything else. And even if we were like trying to keep the principle with only using one mana move, and I didn't use 5S there, and that's still like the beginning of a combo. So you typically only want to use 5S under one circumstance, and that's when you're pretty much exhausted and have no mana, and you're using 5S to like pass the time as your mana rebuilds. Only time you should ever be using that no more, honestly. Or if you're like really ballsy and want to call out someone's jump in, but I would rather use just JA or even JB rather than press 5S. 4S is your magic button. I call it your magic button because it pretty much sets up most of your offense, in the sense that 4S creates a hard knockdown that you can use to create a safe jump. So let's say they tried to DP here. Cool. So if they try to DP here, safe jump. Is it good for catching rolls? You're better off just using 5B, honestly. 5B is much better at catching rolls, and it doesn't leave you as punishable if whiffed. So you 4S, and you safe jump. Oh, fuck. As you can see, the JB is still hitting them because they're taking Grey Life, but I have enough time to block. So you pretty much always want to end your combos in 4S if possible. And if you're not ending your combos in 4S, you're probably using it to extend your combos by doing 4S into 4M. But we'll get to that later when we start talking about mana moves. 6S has some very interesting properties. For it is throw invul, projectile invul, and it crosses up. Yep, I fucked up. This one might be a little hard. So, if you're scared to like press one of your disjointed normals against a fireball, you could always success it. You just have to have good reactions. As of this patch, 6S is now special cancelable. So you can literally just cancel into whatever special move that you want. Typically, I cancel this into 4M. But there is something you should know about this. In terms of inputting it, is this one? Yeah, cool. You have to input the mana move as if you're still facing the same corner. So I'm facing the right. So I'd be inputting 4M like this after Rekka. So as you can see, I still have to do quarter circle back. Even though now that I'm like facing the left, it's quarter circle forward. Typically, if you do it fast enough, though, you could still be on the same side. Or if you're like spaced out well enough, like that. But just keep in mind, whenever you do it, just make sure you're thinking about inputting it the same side, the same way if you were facing the direction when you first started the 6S. And now we have 2S. This button got buffed in multiple ways, but as I have to like fairly point out, this button is also disjointed. So if you see someone throwing a fireball, you can slap them with 2S. It is also your max damage starter. Coming in at 110? No, 120. My bad. 120 damage, and if a counter hits, it crumples. Yay. This is also like your DP punisher. So in the example beforehand, you get 4S and you like save jump their DP. You're punishing every DP with 2S. There's the only character in the game whose DP you cannot punish with 2S is Enchantress. But every other character, you can punish their DP with 2S. Their base DP. I'm saying base DP in regards to like Troubleshooter and Hitman, who could follow up their DP. You can't punish that with 2S, but if they're an Awakening. But if they're not an Awakening, you can definitely punish it with 2S. So if you want to make it hurt, it's 2S. All right. Now because of the buffs, they gave it 2 buffs overall, right? The first one is Jesus Christ. The first one is decreased recovery, which is really important because now you get 5B after 2S. Previously, you could only get 5A, but now you can just do 2S 5B and make it hurt. So you kind of have like a damaging option, like when you know the guard break is about to happen. And now you have like a really good damaging option. The other buff they gave it is that you can teleport cancel off of it, which is really good because it allows you to just close the distance really quickly and still being +1. And versus characters who have like 5 frames, you can like RPS them by using JM if you think they're gonna challenge your plus frames. So it's a cool little mind game. I just wish it was +2. Am I missing anything about 2S? No. So yeah, no. Next up would be JS. So typically you saw this button a lot last patch. Ironically, you might not be seeing it more, even though they buffed it. So as of now, this button is +6 on block. So versus any character, you could just press 5B except Dragon Knight. This is including against characters with like 5 frame normals, like Kuno. We're gonna switch to Kuno really briefly. Okay, cool. So if we have Kuno here set to mash 2A on block, hopefully it's one of these options. Jesus Christ. There was none of these options, so we will set up one ourselves. So she set to 2A on block, right? If you time this correctly, you'll trade. The good news is you're still plus enough to get a combo. So you could press it versus any character except Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight has slightly more hit stun on her 2A, so even if you do force the trade, you don't get a combo off of it. Nerf Dragon Knight, please. Alright, let's go back to Crusader. Oh. So. Okay. So now we're going to talk about mana moves, cost, what they do, and how to use them. First, let's start with 5M. 5M, as you can see, is a projectile, meaning it can be punched. You can like literally just duff him out of existence, right? But 5M also has like this really cool thing about it, which is it is arguably one of the most durable projectiles in the game. So if you see someone throw out a projectile, congrats, you have a full screen confirmed. And you're not even Dawson. With the recent patch now, they made it even better in case you like fuck up. So like if this happens, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of dodge. Like no, don't hit me. Now I don't think I'd be able to punish in this instance. I did it too early. Yeah. But it's still like a get out of jail free card, a free one. Only costs 40 mana, so you don't have to waste your white life trying to make it safe. It's also your primary form of like starting your combos. Like if you have a mana move that you're most willing to start a combo off with, it's probably that one. Let's see. Like it's the most consistent because it gives you a crumple. So because it's giving you a crumple, you can literally just take, you can go to whatever corner you want. Or even like you could just take it to whatever side you want. Now, if this is if 5M and its follow up is your combo starter, 4M would be your combo extender. You choose what side you want to be on. You want to go left, you want to go right, and then you do 4S into 4M, and let 4M drag your opponent to the corner. Now, when the game first dropped, you saw a lot of people doing this. Oh fuck, I fucked up. right? Like that's what people typically did. You use JS and 2S to convert. Now that's not recommended as much because people ended up finding out that you can get more damage just by using 2S and just removing the JS from the combo overall. And later along the lines, I'll show you how you could take advantage of like hit stun decay in this game, so you can get more damage, but you would only be able to do that if you're using 2S instead of JS. 6M is your cheapest mana option, but it's also the option that you rarely ever use. You typically do it if you're like about to run out of mana and you just want to be able to like convert. Oh, I fucked up. That's how you typically want to use it. It's like, oh, I'm out of mana. Let me just use this to like still get some damage in, and then make the combo hurt later. And if you want, you can use it to like snipe someone out the skies, but I would not recommend it. 2M is your teleport. As of this patch, it boasts less recovery than it did the previous patch, so you can act out of it quicker. When in conjunction used with 2S, you are +1 every time, and it helps you get in versus characters that would typically want to keep you out. And it's also good versus characters like Decay who want to try to zone you outside using airspace, or just JS in general. JM is a pretty fun button. So like MM and its follow-up, it allows you to side swap quite freely. So you can pick what side you want, and if you manage to get counter hit 2S, you typically always follow it up with JM every time. And if you're in the corner, you're pretty much just looping. That would be your counter hit combo in the corner. So it gives you big damage. You typically want to go for it after you get counter hit 2S, or even if you get like an air-to-air approach. Like, oh, you're in the air, cool. Now I want to swap sides, and now you're in the corner. So the move has really good versatility. Before we get into combos, let's just talk about his awakening really quickly, because they did change his awakening from launch up until now. So previously, his awakening gave him a 10% damage buff, meaning if I pressed 5B, it would be doing 88 damage instead of 80, right? Now it's a 15% damage buff, so they gave him an additional 5%. So now I should be doing 92 damage. Yes, I'm a nerd for knowing this. Yes, I'm a nerd for knowing the numbers. Don't blame me. He also gets a speed buff, so he is now moving across the screen. And he also does more guard break damage, which is, I don't think it's a buff he needed, but it's not something I'm gonna like turn down, because Ghostblade was never one of those characters who was well known for guard breaking. But with some creativity, you can definitely just whittle away at their guard gauge. Like just 4S into 4M into another 2S takes away 2 pips. So you have options, especially if they're respecting your pressure. All right. So let's talk combos a bit. In my opinion, I think you only need like 5 combos to play this character. to start off with the character, I should say, is a better statement. And then after that, then you get into your like your nitty and gritty stuff. But the first combo you need to know is just your basic. This is just your basic combo. That's combo 1. Right? So we'll turn on inputs. So 5A, 5B, 5M into follow-up. You choose what side you want. 4S into 4M. Really simple. Sometimes you'll see me go for like two S's after the last hit of 4M, but it's just like that's just an awareness thing. It's like, oh, if they're high enough, I can sneak in another 2S, but you don't need to do that. But after a while, when you play the character long enough, you'll be able to see when you're gonna get that second 2S to connect, and when you won't. The second combo you're gonna need to know, and you're gonna realize that all his combos have a really bad pattern. It's his air-to-air combo. So JA, JB, JM, really fast. And then after you press JM, you press JB one more time. And then you do the Ghostblade route. 4S into 4M. Like, you're going to see 4S into 4M in a lot of these routes. Which is why I say I don't think you need that much routes to learn how to play the character. That's it. Because you typically always want to end your combos in 4S anyways for the safe jump. Just for safe pressure. This one you could just label like the surprise, which is probably another combo you need to know. So there are two approaches to this combo. There's the one Godmad does, which is this. And then I go for the 2S at the end. It just feels easier for me. But it's really dealer's preference. Let's go for whatever you like. And then you need to know your counter hit combo. Your counter hit mid-screen combo. Alright. That works mid-screen. Well, that works pretty much anywhere because I started in the corner. And as I demonstrated earlier, here's the corner one. Hi, Jiggy. I hope there's sound working. But yeah, that's pretty much all the combos that you need to know. And then you get into like really fancy stuff, which involves like not letting your combo decay to shit. And like this is the easiest example that I can show. As you can see, he air teched out. And that was when I tried to do 2S after the last hit of 4M connects. But if I do 2S and 4M at roughly the same time, now I get like much better routes. And now I get more damage. So that's probably like one advanced tip you could use as a Ghostblade. If you want to like get more, if you want to like milk more damage out of your combo, don't let the last hit of 4M hit and then like wait 10 seconds before doing 2S. Just do them roughly at the same time, and you'll have way more combo. You have way more hits done in your combo to work with. Outside of that, there isn't much else about Ghostblade that I feel needs to be explained, except one thing. So this works on 3 characters: Crusader, Vanguard, and Lost Warrior. It doesn't work on Hitman. So but you can do 2B, 2S versus those 3 characters for a little bit more damage. Just in case you really want to make it hurt. But other than that, I don't think there's much about the character that has to be like dived into. And whatever like tech you need versus specific characters, it's already on the YouTube channel. So if necessary, I will link it in the comments below. But hopefully this will help you. All right, so I'm gonna end the video here, guys. If you like more content like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Support Taker, please. Taker will put out more Ghostblade tech, and yeah, look forward to the next video. Bye.
겨우 이 정도인가? 방심하지 마라.